So in this video, I'm going to show you how to fix some major problems that you might have. If you have a major mistake, now this is not a spelling mistake, but this is a bigger mistake that you need to fix, something that's not found under this edit button. You're going to end up going to this cog. When you go to the cog, you can click on it. And the first thing I want to talk about is going to move page. So in the last video, I showed you that this wind energy is in the wrong spot. I'm going to go to move page. It's going to ask me, where do I want it? Well, I don't want it under non-renewable, and I certainly do not want it under fossil fuels. I would like this page to be under renewable resources. So I'm just going to click on it and hit move. Now it will take a minute just to get where I need it to be, but now you can see when I go to renewable resources, there is my extra page down here. So once I do that, it will go ahead and move it for me. Another thing you might want to consider down here is to delete the page. Now this would delete just the page that you're clicked on. So right now it would delete renewable resources. That's the page I'm clicked on. That's the one it would delete. Again, it's an option for you. This is if you just started. So if you had just created the page, you haven't put the pictures on, you haven't typed any text, you haven't done any actual work, and you just want to delete it, you can go to delete page and that will go ahead and clear that out. So it's an option for you. The last thing I want to talk about under here is manage site. Under manage site, this is where if you put your title in wrong the very first time, you can change your title right here. You can go ahead and rename it if you need to. Another thing you can do in this area is you can come down and delete the site. Now that deletes the entire site. I will tell you that it takes up to 48 hours to delete the site completely from our domain name. So if you delete your site, you're not going to be able to go in and use, for example, resources-kim again. You're going to have to come up with a different name because that one is still there. Even though you deleted it, it takes 48 hours to get rid of. So you don't want to use that unless you really need to. If you need to delete your site, you probably should come talk to me first before you go ahead and do that step. Another area that you might want to go to is themes, colors, and fonts. If you click over here, this is where you can change what color theme. So maybe that very first time you didn't like what you chose and you want to change something else. I could change it. It will load a preview for me here in just, takes a couple minutes, and I can see what it looks like. Once I do that, I do want to make sure I hit the save button once I've made the change that I like. So make sure you hit the save button. The last thing I want to show you in this area is the sharing with permissions. This is where you can share it. And when you share it, you want to invite the person by their email address. Make sure you spell it correctly or it will not work. Also, for turning this into Google Classroom, you will want to use this URL address. So that's very important. That's where you get this. You can copy it. And once you copy this URL address, when you go into Google Classroom, you'll add it to the assignment just like you normally would, but instead of adding a document, you're going to add a link. This is the link you will add in that area. So really for turning it in, there are two steps. Make sure you share it. And after you do that, make sure that you copy the link and then attach the link into the assignment. So this is where you can find big fixes to different things. To get back, you want to hit this button. Do not hit this back arrow. That's going to save a draft and that gets kind of messy. So make sure you hit this back arrow here under resources. That will take you back to your main page and then you can go from there.